Alright guys, so Prometheus got nerfed, man, and unfortunately he got nerfed pretty much into the ground. Had a lot of people in Crucible today trying to use it, and they just were not getting far with it. We're going to be breaking down every single gun, though, that dropped with Curse of Osiris, and I'm talking about trial weapons, raid weapons, as well as these masterwork guns that are coming into the play. I want to break down everything. We're going to find what's out there, what's the best. Hopefully we might actually find something that's going to break this mold that is currently this 1 second or higher time to kill. I don't think we're going to get any further than that, but we might be able to come up on something if these masterworks turn out to be somewhat decent. I've yet to receive a drop, one of the masterwork drops, but let's talk today about this pulse rifle from Trials of the Nine. This is a pulse rifle that you would want to be going after. It's called Darkest Before. Now this thing right here is a rapid fire frame pulse rifle. Essentially, if you've messed with something like Time Worn Spire or even Lincoln Green, you'll know exactly what type of pulse rifle I'm talking about. Extremely fast, and like all things that Bungie has done in the past when it's come to these extremely fast rate of fire weapons, they normally have some of the best time to kills, but they're sometimes unforgivable, as in primarily it needs to be crits and crits only. Now this one right here actually has a time to kill of 1.13 seconds, and it's got some perks on it that are pretty cool, but I'm not necessarily utilizing as much as I was hoping to. Essentially the trait on it is full auto. Now full auto is something that a lot of people like, especially if you're new to these fast rate of fire pulse rifles. This is something you can pick up, and it's easy to adjust to. If you're like me, who've been playing with pulse rifles for years now, and especially coming from a Grass and Malak back in Destiny 1, you'll know exactly that we like to press the trigger. To my opinion, correcting yourself between every burst, even though it might slow your rate of fire down just a smidge, is actually better for you, because again, it comes into that factor of it being an unforgivable weapon if you don't land those crits. And so it's much better that even though your time to kill may say drop to like 1.2 seconds instead of that optimal 1.13, or even lower if they're on a lower armor, of course, but even lower than that, you want to just still maintain those critical shots. And so, you know, laying on the R2 trigger and allowing that recoil to get out of control is not always the best. Now this sucker does have quick draw on it, which is nice, but it's not something that I kind of feel like it's a wasted perk, okay, because there could have been so many things here other than quick draw. And it also comes with slide shot if you wanted to use slide shot over quick draw, which I'm not necessarily entirely against, because this gun has a slow reload speed, an extremely slow reload speed. So I would highly suggest trying it out, and if you will get used to sliding, then slide shot is something that you can definitely take advantage of and continue to keep yourself in the gunfight. Now as far as barrel perks, I go with small bore, just simply because you got that increase the range and also increase the stability. The other perks themselves, none of them are really that great. There is arrowhead break that I thought about messing with, but it hurts both your stability and your range, but it does give you a little bit of extra handling. I did throw a energy counterbalance mod on this weapon, and two of them actually, because you can actually rock 2 energy counterbalance mods on your Titan. And then I also did something a little differently. I did a weapon handling mod for my energy weapon as well, because this pulse rifle, I mean, the main driving factor that will hurt you the most with this pulse rifle is, number one, if you miss crits, of course, but that's just about any gun, but especially with these fast rate of fire weapons, if you miss crits. And number two, if you don't have a good handling on this weapon, as in if the weapon doesn't snap in and out to grab those shots when you need it to immediately, because it's such a spam-tastic weapon, you need to be able to go in and out of your shots immediately. So I highly suggest, guys, you have a energy weapon handling mod for this gun right here. That will make all the difference for you in this pulse rifle. Well fellas, that is Darkest Before, man. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I know these are quick. These are just bullet points for each one of these guns. Essentially, this is a pulse rifle that falls in one of the best time to kill pulse rifles. It's nasty. 2 counterbalance mods made a huge difference, just like Time Worn Spire. I didn't think Time Worn Spire was necessarily that wonderful, but the moment you throw on a counterbalance mod, it does a lot. The moment you throw on 2, it does a tremendous job. So you can imagine that this one is pretty much the same, except for it's in your energy slot, which will allow you to throw on that energy weapon handling mod, which will allow this weapon to be even snappier. Fellas, try it out for yourself. Guys, I'm going to keep pumping these out. Thank you so much for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.